All right, good afternoon, everybody. David E. Taylor. Without ado, you are a piece of shit. And I want to thank you to all the subscribers out there, first of all. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. I love your comments. You guys are great. And then also, this is for some of the new people that are coming into this not knowing anything about the depositions and the outcomes of them, which there is no outcome on these depositions, okay? This was made to look like a state case, which it wasn't. It was a civil case between. If I go on a tangent, I apologize in advance. How this case was made to look was basically a state case against you, David. This is what this was made to look like. It was a civil case. You were a witness in a divorce proceeding. You were subpoenaed by Rick Frazier to be a witness in a divorce proceeding, a divorce hearing. The deposition was ultimately made to discredit you, David. That's what this whole deposition was done for, was to discredit you. But on the other side, it was also made to, for Debbie Frazier, the fact that she had donated all that money, it was also to show that Debbie Frazier had given her money to you in the divorce proceeding. But it was a double-edged sword kind of. You were going there to defend yourself, but it was also, Rick was going there to expose you, but it was also to show that Debbie was giving the money to you out of a divorce hearing, okay? Rick paid, okay, so Rick paid to have the deposition videotaped, okay? Definitely a good investment. So that's what that was about. That was paid for, okay? The outcome of the case, there really is no outcome yet. There won't be. David's a piece of shit. It was really made to expose him. That was it. It was paid for, the deposition, videotape, everything. It was made to expose you, David. That's it. That was it. It was made to look like a state case, but it wasn't. It was a civil case. And you throwing Michelle under the bus, you went in there very ill prepared, and that was the only way you knew how to get out of it, is throw Michelle under the bus. But what I know, David, yeah. Anyways, and I want to give a shout out to Beja Florence, which is actually Michelle Brennan. She has another channel out there, guys. The channel is spelled BASIA. FLORENCE. She's been commenting on the channel trying to say she's new to the cult, but she's left numerous messages across numerous other channels trying to basically weasel her way into our group to maybe get information. So shout out to you, Beja Florence. Thank you. I know who you are. It's Michelle Brennan, okay? Because we're on to you guys. Come on, man. You can't get past us. We're too smart for you guys, okay? And the whole thing with the deposition is those questions were all prepared prior to the questioning. From what I understand, again, I can't confirm this, but there were hired investigators that were hired to look into David to find out about what he was doing with all this money. Okay, so those hired investigators kind of had an idea of what was going on, so all these questions were prepared, which isn't a bad idea. I mean, if you're going to go into a questioning, I mean, you would want these questions prepared. But for the way the questions were prepared to make it look like something it wasn't, again, it was made to look like a state case, and it wasn't. So the way the questions were prepared, it worked to expose David. It really did. And for some of the newcomers out there, if you come across Vicky Yohe and David E. Taylor, Vicky Yohe was somebody that David E. Taylor was banging at one point, and once she found out about her not being the only one, she went public, and she raised a big stink about it, about her, being manipulated and sending out nude photos to David and all this other crap, and then turning around and playing the victim after she said. She went in and said that she wasn't in a cult, and then about 3 months later, she comes out and said, "Hey, this guy's a cult leader. He's this and that." Completely contradicting her own words, right? And she's not around much anymore. She's actually trying to run some kind of vitamin fat burning medication scam now. So She's not. She doesn't do too much. And that was kind of it. This whole deposition was made to look like a state case, and it's not. There is no outcome. What's going on now? Okay, he's in a legal battle with Harold Lewis. Okay, over the residential center. For those of you who have watched the deposition, he's been evicted from there. He's in a legal battle. The case number is 18S for Sam L. So 18SL-CC02174. It's out of St. Louis, Missouri, 19th District Court. Okay, you can look it up online. You go into Missouri.gov and you can look up the court case, and it will give you all the printouts of all the requests on the dockets. This case has been going on since 2018, March of 2018, 19, 20, 21. So 3 years, 3.5 years into this case, almost 4 years we're into this. And this case has been drawn out in court because David will not supply any of the requested documents that the court has subpoenaed. The last time the court told David, hey, we want bank statements because David's filing a counterclaim right now against Harold Lewis for the residential center, saying that he had done repairs on the residential center, on the mansion, and he's wanting money back from Harold Lewis. But David, dude, you're not going to get any money back because you haven't supplied B of A records. You have this self-serving document, some spreadsheet, and the judge is going to laugh at you, man. I'm telling you. He's going to want to see bank statements. But again, some of those bank accounts were closed, and I know that. And the other thing throughout this whole case is what they've been dodging is bank records. They will not come up with any bank records. There are bank records, but other parties have them. But David won't supply those bank records to the Harold Lewis case. They've been supplied to the Frazier case, but not to David's attorneys. So that's what the attorneys have been trying to subpoena the last few years, is these P of A records, is the Bank of America records. But every time they come up with them, they say there's no records. How can you have a bank account and not have records of your bank account? Even now, Bank of America has to carry those records 7 years back. Probably longer because they're a bank. Okay, so again, he's been evicted out of that house. He now has another mansion in Chesterfield, Missouri. It's a really nice place. Really nice place. It's listed under the Kingdom of God Global Church. It's 1302 Wild Horse Meadows in Chesterfield, Missouri. Real nice place. That house has actually changed names about 3 or 4 times in the last, year or two because of all the shit that he's trying to hide. I believe. That's what I think. It's changed names from somebody named Justin, I believe, to David's son. I don't know who the house is in now, what name the house is in now, but there's a lot of really shady stuff going on right now behind the scenes with this whole case. Okay? So, the outcome again, no outcome. He's fighting a legal battle with Harold Lewis. That's where it's at right now. There's no outcome in the Frazier case. There won't be. There's not going to be. That was just made to expose him. But he's now in another lawsuit again with Harold Lewis of the residential center. And that's just, the last time I went to the court case, again, the judge had kind of brought up fraud on the record. And that means a lot. That means a lot to me, I think, when, you have a sitting judge call out fraud on open record in court regarding a financial legal battle that this man is facing against, another guy, against Harold Lewis. So there's some really shady stuff going on there, okay? He's got several addresses all over the place. His cult following is pretty small. He thinks he's going to fill an arena with 20,000 people with his arena crusade. It's not going to happen, David, okay? I guarantee you that. The court costs were paid. A lot of money has been thrown around in this case. Overall, Debbie Frazier probably gave up, I want to say 2.5 to 3 million because she pulled reverse equity on her house. She pulled a reverse mortgage on her house to pay for more court costs, pulled lines of credit, pulled out her 401k early. A lot of money has been thrown around. And what it's ultimately going to boil down to is who has the most money, who's rich, and that's just, I don't know. To me, that's what it is. It is money hoarding. That is straight up money hoarding what you guys are doing. And I don't know if any of you guys ever watched Dave Ramsey. One of his things about when you have that much wealth is you're supposed to donate some of it. I kind of follow his philosophy on money. You know, when you're rich and you're doing well and you have so much money, like, you need to be donating a certain amount of that back. You know, that's just money hoarding. That's greed. So what this whole case revolves around is money and greed. In the end, it's all about who has the most money, and what it sounds like it's boiling down to is a matter of principle for some of these people, that they don't care how much money they're going to spend on David. They're going to keep throwing it at him until something's done. So on that end, the case goes to trial in December. The jury selection is in November, and it goes to trial December 6th, I believe. It's going to be a 5 or 7 day trial. It starts on like a Monday, and it's going to end on the following Monday, I believe. I can't remember. But again, you can look up the court case online. I'll go ahead and post the link here. That way, if you're interested, you can also look up the court case as well. Let's see. I wrote notes down because I get off track sometimes. And Michelle being thrown under the bus, we talked about that. That's the whole way this is going to go. And it would be nice to see all these main people that David mentions in his deposition all put in the same room and questioned at the same time with the same exact questions, and see what happens. I wish they could do that. You know, I don't see why that hasn't been done. Put them all on video together and start asking them all the same questions, all the same people. LaMarcia, Ashley, David, Michelle, Tony, Steve, Joseph. Put all you guys in a table in a room and start questioning you guys about the inner workings of this destructive cult. You guys are all going to point the finger at each other. That's what's going to happen. It's going to point to David, Michelle, Ashley, LaMarcia, Joseph, Tony. You know, you guys are all complicit in the whole thing. So again, for all the new followers out there, this is a destructive cult. Okay, that's what this organization is. It's a destructive cult. He has all the characterizations and displays all the character traits of a destructive leader as well. Guaranteed. You could look it up for yourself. I've done all the research. I'm not religious, but I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm not religious in any way. For me, again, it's principle with this. I want to see this guy in jail. Like, he lied under oath. And again, for all the newcomers out there, I'm pretty sure you guys sitting back and watching, this guy's lying. Yes, he is lying under oath. So fast forward today, what he's doing, his miracle crusade arena that he's been talking about, he is actually building this big ass stage. It's being built by this place down in Gladeview, Florida, called Movie Prop Rental. It's being paid for in sections. They pay for a bit and then it's built. There's no estimated finish date. They had to actually stop because of COVID, so the project was put on hold last year, and they just started building it again. And this company is credible. They've built a lot of big stages for a lot of big movie productions, like Pirates of the Caribbean. So I've confirmed who these people are. They're being paid to do this job for David. So fast forward to today for all the newcomers. That's where David is now. He's got numerous addresses. He's got several kickbacks on paperwork on his tax forms. The way there's paperwork being done now that I've found through the states, it's a huge, huge scam. That's why we're out here trying to inform people not to give anybody, for people not to give this guy any money, because he's running a destructive cult. And there's all kinds of destructive cults out there. You know, and again, in America, it's not against the law to believe in a cult. You can be in a cult if you want to. It's not against the law. When it becomes destructive and there's destructive behavior is when, you know, it becomes an issue. You can find out information on culteducation.com about this. JMMI and David E. Taylor is on that website. There's all kinds of stories about him. If you want to find out more, go ahead and check it out. I recommend everybody do, because that's what's going on here. Again, newcomers, there is no outcome in this case, and there won't be, just to let you know. It sucks, I know, because everybody, it's like, it's like having a buildup and then nothing happens, you know. There's not going to be an outcome in this case. It sucks. It really does. I was the same way when I found out, oh, there's no outcome. What the fuck? Well, this guy lied under oath, you know. But again, the attorneys aren't going to sit there and tell him he's lying because they're being paid to defend him. But any normal person, any person in their right mind, not living in a secular world thinking they've been anointed by God, can see that this guy was lying. And yes, David, you are a liar. You guys, any questions, comments, concerns? This was mostly for like the newcomers to the deposition. There is no outcome on this case. Not with Rick Frazier and Debbie Frazier. There was no outcome. There will be no outcome. So the one he's in now, we're still waiting on that case. And that case has been going on for almost 4 years now. And it's still going on. There was just an update on the case a few days ago. And that has to do with like their asset spreadsheet for the 10-page parsonage, which is a mansion also. So again, that whole case, no, there's nothing was done. So again, you guys, any questions, comments, concerns, you feel I left anything out, or you have any questions, leave them down below. I'm sure a lot of you probably have a lot of questions why there was no outcome. So do I. I don't know why there wasn't an outcome. It was really just made to expose David, but there was ulterior motives on each side in that deposition. There was an ulterior motive on Rick's, on David's, and on the attorney's side. There was all. It really was kind of a misuse of the court system. It really was on all sides, But it did really well. Rick, they didn't have to go in there and make it look like a state case. David could have just sat there and lied his ass off, and it would have been fine, regardless. David still would have got the attention that he is now, without it made to be look like a state case. I think I said that right. Yeah. So it's a civil case, guys. Nothing happened. There's no outcome, and there will be no outcome. So again, questions, comments, concerns, you guys leave them below. I apologize for putting up a lot of videos, in this same day. I tried not to, but talking to a couple of channel members, I sit and brainstorm with them and some of the things that we've come up with, and I'll put out the information once I get more. So you guys have a good day. Again, Memorial Day isn't about beers and barbecue. Remember what Memorial Day is about this weekend, okay? So you guys have a good weekend. Don't drink and drive. Stay safe. David E. Taylor. If you know what sacrifice is about, but you don't. You don't know anything about sacrifice. You don't. This weekend is about sacrifice. Just remember that. And not about Holy Trinity sacrifice, okay? Maybe take some time to remember the people that have actually fought for your freedom so you can run your bullshit ass scam, okay? And there are people out there, so. Again, good day, guys. Happy Memorial Day. Remember what it's about. David E. Taylor, you're a piece of shit.